this is Peak Entertainment and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're just going to have a quick discussion on the A-list movie star and when or if we're ever going to see the next wave of iconic superstars for the future generation of movies. Now we all know the concept of the A-list movie star, not just a well-known prolific actor or actress, but a real marquee name who sells a movie on their name alone. Regardless of the genre, runtime, critical reception, these movies have succeeded because of the actors that are starring in them. Now, whilst this will depend on the era that you grew up in, for me personally, the 1980s was the essential decade of the movie star. You just roll out all of the names from Harrison Ford, Sylvester Stallone, Tom Cruise, Eddie Murphy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Douglas, you could go on and on and on. And even when you move on to the 1990s, we talk about the likes of Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts, Sandra Bullock, Sharon Stone, John Travolta, Bruce Willis, Nicolas Cage, Jim Carrey, so many names that again had the real pull of their own image when selling a movie. But when we talk about the current state of films, and all but for a small few exceptions, the A-list movie star has practically been extinct, certainly for the last 10 to 15 years or so. Yes, we have names that are well known, but that's probably more through television series or because they are part of a franchise or IP, but they're not able to sell a movie when headlining themselves. We look at, for example, both the MCU and DCEU, where the likes of Chris Hemsworth, Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot are very popular within the pop media space, but they really can't sell a movie on their own. Now, we could debate as to whether their over-reliance on franchise and IP and streaming has killed the idea of A-list movie star for good. But let's be far more optimistic here and entertain the thought that perhaps an A-lister can still exist, somebody who could really sell the movie just on their own image. And when we look at this concept, we'll take a look at the young upcoming actors currently within the industry and assess whether they will become the next headline movie star of the business. Well, as at 2024, when we look at the high profile releases, the first name coming to mind will probably be Timothée Chalamet. Always deemed much more of a heartthrob, especially for his female fans, he's finally enjoyed lead box office success with Wonka, released in 2023, which currently has grossed over $600 million worldwide, very much defying expectations. And it finally gave Chalamet some box office prolificity. Now, this high profile will likely continue later on in 2024 with the upcoming release of Dune Part 2. But following that film, will Chalamet go on to build an even stronger run and stronger momentum? I'm not sure that he really has enough conviction or presence in terms of a lead role. When looking at Chalamet, he's very similar to Orlando Bloom, with the same vagueness and lacking that charisma, but he has his loyal female fans, the boyish looks that will always get him roles, especially in romantic comedies and quirky dramas, and especially event films. So whether he can be sharp enough to continually pick up large prolific roles that keep making money, we'll wait and see overall. Now, an actor with far more substance is Jeremy Allen White, primarily coming into prominence with the long-running Showtime drama Shameless, and he has maintained that with the series of The Bear, which is now entering its third season. And that show, if not gaining massive viewership, it definitely has hit very strong critical reception. Now, his most substantial movie role so far came in The Iron Claw from last year, in a much more supporting role playing wrestler Kerry Von Erich. Whilst he was very good in the film, it sadly didn't perform big at the box office. So Jeremy definitely has the talent, the acting ability, and much more of that grounded maturity that I think is required when handling the big show business. And he definitely has the critical respectability. He just now needs to be given an opportunity in the run of leading roles to show what he's got. Maybe if he doesn't become an all-conquering box office superstar, the potential is definitely there to become a very prestige movie actor capable of winning multiple Golden Globes or Academy Awards. We then talk of someone who has much more of an established profile, and that is Florence Pugh. Being involved in smaller roles for many years before coming into prominence as Yelena Belova in Black Widow in 2021. And very much a role where she's primed to take over from Scarlett Johansson. She then continued with the likes of Don't Worry Darling, before appearing also in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer in 2023. And I think it's generally accepted amongst most movie critics and fans that Florence is a very good actress who does have a strong presence to back up all of the gorgeous looks. And again, I see her here as much more of a prestige actress, capable most definitely of winning an Oscar at the very least. Now, she will continue to maintain her role as Yelena Belova in the upcoming Thunderbolts film in 2025, and overall that's a very smart move to stay with that character for now, as that will keep her very much in the mainstream landscape, and hopefully that will help her garner even more big event lead performances in the future. We then talk of Florence's Dune co-star Zendaya. who first became noticed on the big time after a short musical career with her role as Michelle or MJ in Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017, starring alongside Tom Holland. And she continued that role for both sequels Far From Home and No Way Home, and she had a much more smaller role in The Greatest Showman, and since then, Zendaya has become very popular, with many liking her on-screen personality. And she definitely has that likability and charisma. Now recently she's added more credibility as an actress in her role within the HBO series Euphoria, where she plays a 17-year-old drug addict. And as mentioned, her profile will continue in Dune Part 2, where her role in the sequel as Shane will promise to be far more expanded than what she had in the first film. So much more chance here to make a substantial impression. And as with all actors, the real test will be as to whether she can carry a lead role on her own. And we'll probably find that out sooner than later when we see the sports drama Challenges, which releases in April 2024. And so we'll mention another one of the Dune co-stars, and that is Austin Butler, who raised his profile with his biopic performance as Elvis Presley, for which he gained a lot of critical acclaim as well as multiple award nominations, winning ones for both BAFTA and the Golden Globes. He's continued to maintain his profile in the Apple War miniseries Masters of the Air, as well as also starring in Dune Part 2. And at this stage, he probably needs more prolific movies as well to really build on the momentum of his role in Elvis and really convince people as to whether he can be viewed much more as a credible movie star. And so we finish on somebody who right now has no trouble getting views whatsoever, and that is of course Sydney Sweeney. Just like Zendaya, after small roles she came into prominence in the HBO drama Euphoria and later on in the series The White Lotus. And Sweeney has definitely had contrasting fortunes in terms of box office recently. Coming in the late 2023, she starred in the romantic drama Anyone But You, which became one of the most successful romantic comedies within recent years, making over $200 million on just a budget of around $25 million. We then compare that more recently with Madam Web, which is definitely going to be one of the biggest flops of 2024. And to be fair, that really can't be laid at Sydney, who was in much more of a smaller supporting role, and the movie likely would have made more money if she were made much more involved. Now it's clear as day the main reason why she draws so much attention. Whilst we could spend hours talking of her appeal, let's just say aesthetically she most definitely convinces, and then some. Now where she needs to convince more is whether she can be a truly commanding lead actress, built not just on her looks, but also on her acting ability. And so many of the famous A-list actresses over the years have always had that immense talent to back up their beauty, alongside big box office success and award recognition. Now whether Sydney will go on to gain the same sort of levels as what we saw with the likes of, let's say, Halle Berry, Angelina Jolie, Sam Hayek, and probably the most relevant comparison in terms of either Scarlett Johansson or Margot Robbie, we will wait and see overall. So there's my other thoughts and feelings on who I deem have the potential to become possibly the next big A-list movie star of the future generation of movies, if that concept is still a possibility. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any other further suggestions regarding any of movies, television series, or any other topics within the pop entertainment or culture scene that you'd like to see me cover, then also let me know in the comments and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on that subject matter within the future. Please also hit like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves and I will see you very, very soon.